Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Gothalion, and welcome back to Borderlands, the pre-sequel. And we're starting a little bit of a new series each and every week. I'm going to give you a kill of the raid boss, but we're going to talk about something a little different. You know, bitch, gab, and talk about what's going on inside the Borderlands universe, what's coming up, what's been going on, what I've been finding, what I've been experiencing, how I'm feeling about the game and the series as a whole. So this week, we're going to talk about pre-sequel. Because, you know what, first episode, might as well talk about the pre-sequel, how we're feeling about the game. And if you go back on my videos over the last few weeks, you will see I've had quite a few harsh opinions for Gearbox. And I've come back and said, you know what, I do like the game, it's fun, it's Borderlands, it's missing a lot of unique weapons. And I do wish there were certain aspects of it that were a little bit more polished. But for a game that was made in 2 years, I think it's great. I've said a couple times that I feel like it should have been maybe just a little bit cheaper, but what are you going to do going forward? I like the game, man, and you know what? While we're doing a raid boss, we might as well talk about how boss fights were grossly improved in between Borderlands 2 and Borderlands the pre-sequel. I think that the boss fight structure overall was massively superior in Borderlands the pre-sequel. So much so that I have a lot of hope for future story DLC when it comes to bosses, but I feel like they need to give us maybe more than one raid boss inside DLC. I feel like the one raid boss that we got outside or at the end of this game was kind of not enough. I like how Borderlands 2 sort of launched with a few bosses. Iwajira to me does not count as a raid boss. Nell does not count as a raid boss. The Sentinel is the only thing that really counts as a raid boss. Iwajira is kind of like a mini boss to me. The same for Nell. Though Iwajira does present a little bit more of a challenge than Nell, for sure. But the thing that Iwajira is missing in his name is that Invincible title, which to me, in the Borderlands universe, equals, that's right, not a raid boss. So going forward, I hope that they do give us more than one raid boss in the DLC, because this game is really missing a substantial endgame. It has a couple bosses to kill, it has one raid boss, and it has a severe lack of new loot. But it's all fun. Then there's bosses like Zarpedon, which were absolutely awesome fights. Why the shit can't you not fight Zarpedon anymore? And I did get a little word that one of the Gearbox community folks, I believe the community manager, made mention that the development team is aware of the issue that bosses do not respawn and unique enemies do not respawn, and that they are going to look into it. Now, this does not mean anything official. It doesn't mean that we're going to get the change that we want moving forward. It just means that they're aware of it. They know that we're unhappy about it. They know that maybe they should do something about it. Now, will they spend the dollars necessary to rework that portion of the game to get all the bosses to respawn? I'm not 100% on that, especially with bosses like Zarpedon that, well, I mean, you can't, like, I've gone through that little entryway in the whatever, the launching area, whatever, with Cheat Engine. I've ghosted through it. There's not even a zone there anymore, which means that they pretty much lock that entire zone after you complete that part of the story. Now, does that mean that a simple tag can't be made to fix it? No, because I have a friend who's made a Cheat Engine tag and script that resets that boss in Quest. So perhaps they can put something there that acts as a little script, a little switch, so you could go back and fight Zarpedon. I would like to fight Zarpedon again. I would like to have a chance to get her drops going forward. And the same for a lot of the other non-respawnable bosses and mini-bosses and unique enemies. I think those things do need to be added. But talking more about boss fights, they are really well made in the pre-sequel. This particular raid boss is a lot better put together than, say, Terramorphous, which is basically a big pile of health that could one-shot you or knock you off a cliff, which, yes, one-shots you. This boss, when you're about to die, you know it. There's not a lot of bullshit. There's not a lot of, where did I just die from? And I like that. We asked for that moving forward, and they did a great job with the boss fights. The Zarpedon fight, a lot of fun as well. I really enjoyed that as well. And I hope that in the DLCs, they get something going with some more boss fights, and let us fight at least more than one at the end of that. I did talk about the possibility of a the Fall of New Haven DLC and how a raid boss might work with the original 4 Vault Hunters. But continuity-wise, it doesn't really work, so here's hoping that the story DLC is a nice tie-in to the game. So now we're going to talk about loot in the game. I'm finding a lot of stuff that I am liking. A lot of the guns are really cool, but, I mean, outside of the new lasers, there's not much in the way of new legendaries. There's a lot of returning stuff, and the returning legendaries was honestly my biggest qualm with the game. If they would have replaced all the returning legendaries with new legendaries, new uniques, then I would have given this game a much better score in my mind. Right now, to me, it's like a 7 out of 10, and if it had fresh legendaries, it could easily be an 8, even an 8.5. The game is fun, it's just missing a lot of fresh, and I know it was made in 2 years, but I feel like it could use just a little bit more fresh paint, and I'm enjoying it, and I have a lot of hope for the future moving forward for Borderlands, the pre-sequel. Let me know how you guys feel at this point. Do you still have hope that Gearbox is going to turn around and fix the stuff that we want fixed or adjust the things we want adjusted? A lot of people are really happy with the game, and that makes me happy. I'm happy with the game. I just feel like there are some things that could be fixed. Just because I feel like things should be fixed or adjusted does not mean I don't like the game. I like the game a lot. I think they did a great job. Combat is fast. The bosses are probably the best put in the Borderlands series to date. The storyline in my mind, in my eyes, is the best storyline inside a Borderlands game yet. That's my opinion on it. I just think there's some tweaks that need to be done. Anyways, in the comments section below, I would like you guys to leave me a little, hey, talk about this next week. What subject would you like touched on next week when we kill a raid boss and talk about some shit? Let me know what you guys want to see discussed. I will peruse the comments, and if I like your topic of discussion, I will use it next week and give you a little shout out. So thanks, guys. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys back in Borderlands, the pre-sequel.
That's quality loot. Yes, awesome loot. A tough decision.